So hello everyone. Thank you all for joining and hope you're all doing well and are safe. So I'm gonna quickly introduce myself. My name is Natalia Abdullah and I am Sadr Group and OSM UAE's digital marketing specialist, and I will be your moderator for today's discussion. So I'd like to start off by a quote that I saw fitting for today's topic. And it goes a bit like this: all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And it is a quote by the infamous Walt Disney. And I find that it embodies perfectly the core essence of entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur not only has an idea they are passionate about, but they also have an idea that they want to turn a reality. So they are willing to take the needed risks to make it a reality. Entrepreneurs are hard workers. They are focused visionaries, tackling the world according to their own terms and succeeding in bringing their dreams into a reality. And the number one factor that should be taken into consideration to ensure the sustainability of your business and to see your dream to its end is none other than its financial aspect. After all, financial management is at the heart of every business. It is one area that can help it drive it forward. Knowing what the numbers represent and how you can interpret them and what they are telling you is very important because it allows you as a business owner to succeed with purpose. Now I'll leave the floor now to Mr. Sadiq Al-Assad, Zadar Group and OSM's UAE's very own CEO, to give his own take on this subject. As a small reminder, this discussion will last for approximately 1 hour, give or take a few minutes. And in the meantime, if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comment box here and they will be addressed later on. And if you have any insightful comments you'd like to give as well, write them down and we might give you the floor to elaborate more. Thank you. Mr. Sadiq, it's all yours.
Thank you, Natalie, and welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this our open discussions for CEOs and business owners. And thank you, Natalie, for the nice introduction. Of course, the money is the guiding principle of where we want to go. The main focus of today is all about finance, and by the end of this session, you will gain the clarity of what problems you're facing, but also you will see some opportunities that are within your reach, and we'll discuss how we can achieve them. Now, I know that Natalie mentioned that you can ask on the chat box and ask the questions, so it's an open discussion. And I'm hoping for lots of engagement. So if anyone would like to contribute or has any questions specific or general, please feel free to throw it, to raise your hand or put it on the chat box, or even make a sign and then you off-mute yourself and then we can discuss.
Yeah, there's an option to raise your hand actually in Zoom. So if you want to comment or like have an interesting point of view on something Mr. Sadiq is going to talk about, please feel free to talk, and because we want engagement. This is the whole purpose of this discussion.
Exactly. Thank you, Natalie. So let's start with this. While using the chat box, if you go down on the on your Zoom screen, there is a chat button. Once you have found it, please click on it. And once it's opened, please let us know from which country you're joining or city. Hello. Okay, Beirut, Lebanon.
Beirut. Hello, Hassan. It's nice to see you again. We have Morocco.
Okay. Hello from Morocco. How is the weather in Morocco? Okay. So I know that most of you are busy. So during this session, I will make sure you get a lot of ROT. which is return on time. I know again that ROI is more popular, but investments can come and go. If you lose an investment, you can gain it somewhere else. But when you lose time, there is no way you can gain it back. And sometimes we tend to forget that. So let us now go back to the chat button, again on the bottom of your screen. Click on it and let me know from a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about finances in your company? 10 being very confident and useful, you have the good reporting, and 1 being, I hate it, I don't want to know about it, I don't get it, it's something that accounting people do.
And so we have Ahmed, who said that he's from Saudi Arabia. Hi, Ahmed, and hi, Samir. Oh, so Mohsen said that it's a 7 from a scale from 0
1
to
to 10.
1 to 10, it's 7 for him.
Okay,
Fair.
pretty confident. That's good. What I will share with you during today's session, if you implement it properly, it will change how you look at finance in your company. It will simplify the whole process and will give you the visibility and clarity you need to manage your business effectively. As you have seen in the invite, it's an open discussion, and let's keep the discussions open. So to take the maximum benefit out of this session, I won't be talking the whole time. And I would like to know your thoughts, opinions, challenges, and any ideas. I think Ahmed was on a 7 confident, so I'm sure he has a lot of ideas he can contribute to others that can help them have better visibility. During the session, I will be sharing some hacks used by successful business owners and CEOs. We will talk about the main tools you need to manage a successful business. So I suggest you grab a paper and a pen, take some notes of what serves you the most. I will also, at the end of the session, be offering an opportunity that you don't want to miss. And finally, I will invite you to ask questions, as many questions as you want. So again, you can pop the questions into the chat box. Myself or Natalie will be responding to you throughout. Or feel free to come and put the question out there.
Yes.
All right, any questions so far? We didn't talk much, so
no,
okay.
We didn't. Not yet.
Yeah. So before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about me. I have spent 20 years in corporate functions, in various corporates, and I was involved in setting up and growing businesses. And 10 years ago, I decided to open my own business and become a business owner myself. I currently run 4 international brands that are managed by their respective teams. What I'm saying is I don't manage the day-to-day running of the business. I know where each business is heading. I know the potential of each. I'm helping the teams whenever I'm needed. However, I don't work in the business. I am busy pursuing what is dearest to my heart, whatever I like most, is helping troubled companies becoming a high profitable and high performance companies. So I help CEOs and business owners play their full potential. During my journey, I have noticed 3 things. Most of the challenges that CEOs and business owners and all leaders face with finance are due to complicated financial reporting that are needed for compliance, regulatory, and tax reporting, but they don't really serve the leader in navigating his business. I have also noticed that because of these complications, leaders will either start to ignore this very important tool or rely on their finance team or accounting team to explain the numbers, or they become too technical and they start behaving, sounding, and talking like accountants. And the third thing that I've noticed is that the majority will spend time and effort trying to figure out solutions on their own instead of turning to someone who can teach them how it works. Do you agree about, I mean, anyone agree or disagree about what I'm saying? Anyone finds himself in one of these three categories?
The fact that you're all here today shows that you want to know more about finances because you want to accurately assess the finances of your company. So based on the last category, Mohsen says that belongs to the last category.
So now you sound like an accountant, you're behaving like an accountant, which is good. I'm not against accountant, but we want you to behave as you're a business owner and let the accounting do their accounting. Let me share with you a story. I was working with a client. They're two partners. They're having one company. One of the partners was a very structured person. He wanted the proper financial reports that come every month, and waited until the reports are out until things worked, until he decides what to do with the business or take any decision. The other partner, she was the lady. So the lady partner, she was not into really accounting. She didn't really understand P&L or financial statement, but she always knew where she were at any point in time during the month or during the day. She always had the vision of how much the business is how good the business is doing, or when the business starts flipping. She had on her agenda, on her daily agenda, she had always numbers at the bottom. So she used to write how much they spend and how much they earned. And she somehow knew where is the direction of the company. During my career, I was lucky enough to experience and contribute to various businesses in different phases of the business evolution. When I started my career, I worked with a very structured company where everything was structured, the numbers were correct, everything was on time, and it was a 40 years old multinational, so they had the structure all put in place. On another hand, I worked also with a retailer where we started setting up the second store in the region, and now they have more than 300 stores in the GCC. I have noticed that the visibility needed depends very much on the phase that the company is in. It depends very much on the company's evolution, where you are now. We will talk today about the key elements needed to gain visibility depending on each stage. Some companies, they try early on to gain as much visibility as they can and run like a corporate or like a multinational. So they find themselves overwhelmed and they fall into the trap of overanalyzing, thinking, and will just simply be overwhelmed with all the information they're getting. Sometimes too much visibility is more harmful than no visibility, or has the same harm as no visibility. I will be sharing to you today a step-by-step guide, and we'll be talking about some clients we worked with and whom we help to transform their business, become more profitable, move them to the next level by using just being able to know where they are and just by having visibility. Would you like that? I'm sure if you're still here that you
Yeah.
So we're gonna use the chat box again. Now, please give me the answers because this is important for you, and it will help me structure the discussion based on your answer. Can you let me know, out of these three, which challenges you're currently more facing? Is it cash flow, cost? So type 1 if it's a cost, type 2 if it's a cash flow, if you're facing cash flow problems, and type 3 if you're facing profitability issues. You can type 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 3, 2, whatever, all the three,
So
depending on where
basically,
you are at your business.
there are some people who just recently joined. So
Okay.
as you can see, you have 3 challenges on the screen. Please type in the comment section which challenge you are currently facing for us to properly help assess your situation. So Bshara said all 3, Hassan
Okay.
2 and 3, Samir 1.
So, okay. So we have cost, we have cash flow, and we have profitability. We're going to talk about the 3 of them. Thank you for your input. Clearly, if you're facing these problems, you're not alone. All CEOs and business owners have faced the same challenges before you. You're not the first ones. Few were able to overcome it easily or instantly, but most of them, they spend years and years trying to ignore these issues, or they try to figure it out on their own. So
Manira
they
actually made a comment that is very interesting. She said that if we have a problem in the first one, if we have a cost problem, automatically we're going to face challenges in the other 2, in cash flow and profitability as well.
Of course. And this is exactly, thank you for your
Input.
This is exactly when during high tides, some companies, they think they're doing well, they have high costs, but since the business is so strong, they think this is normal. And I have seen this happening, especially during peak times, during up times in countries, specifically in Dubai. So we were talking about the people, they start trying to ignore completely or delegating the finance function, or they start managing their business without visibility. It's like navigating a ship without a compass or a map or anything, and then hoping that you will reach your destination. The good news is it doesn't have to be like this forever. I'm going to share another story with you. Last year, 2 years ago, I was working with a company that landed a big project. We were doing the whole transformation of the company. And during the transformation, they landed a big project. So the systems in the company were not ready to measure properly, to have the compass they needed to navigate. But they landed a big project. It was a catering company. And, in catering, the majority of cost is food, labor, and transport. I mean, this is basically what it is. So doing the business without visibility is really costly. If you don't know how much your food is costing you, you don't know how much, if you're making money or not, you can't wait till the end of the month. And in just 2 months, we were able to provide them with the necessary tools they needed to know where they stand every day, not every week, every day. So the next day, today morning, they knew if yesterday was profitable or not, if yesterday cost was in alignment with the sales or not. And they started seeing what was draining their business. They started seeing why they're losing, and they started taking action to reduce their losses quickly. They were very proactive. And in the 4th month from our engagement on this project, they were able to start making profits. How would you feel if you're able to know exactly what is moving the needle in your business? How would you feel if you're able to see very clearly what is serving the business and what's not on a weekly basis, for example? So you can act before it's too late. Wouldn't you like in just a couple of months to be able to put your efforts, focus, and concentration on growing your business, serving your clients, or finding new opportunities instead of worrying about the results or seeing your cash going down the drain? I know that some of you are thinking that, yeah, this is the world now is going through a difficult time. But look, this period is the perfect time to stop navigating blindly. It is the perfect time to gain visibility and drive the results of your company. You might have reaped results in the past without having proper visibility. But this is because the wind was on your side. The wind was pushing in your direction. But now that the wind is changing its course, you need clarity more than ever to be able to direct your ship to where you want to go. And today, I'm going to show you the full framework that we use on all our business, and we will concentrate more on the financial part. Do you like that? Any questions so far? Any input?
No, so far there's nothing.
Okay.
But maybe later on when you tackle the whole framework and specifically the finance segment, we'll have
Yeah. So now we're getting into the core of it.
Yeah, the core of the discussion.
So all the clients we work with, the lens that we look at things with our clients is we take them through our business growth blueprint. As you can see, we have 5 key steps. It starts with knowing where we are, where the business is, actually, not where the business is, deciding on the capabilities of the business. It's the team. What do we have? How much muscle do we have in the team to be able to do the lift? Seeing how much, checking the finance, the profitability, the cost, and all of these. And then understanding the clients, the main drivers of revenue, and seeing how much stamina you have, and then enjoying and start growing the business. So this is our full framework, but today we will be discussing more on the finance side.
Mr. Hassan Karaki said that he fully agrees on the potential these days, and exactly, because few are the people who actually want to do something or take action when it's tough. And I love your point of view. I love the direction that you are going with, exactly, because now is the time actually to make changes and to take action.
Exactly. Thank you, Hassan, for the input. It is the right time, and actually, on high tides, when the business is going is doing really well, is not the right time to change, because no one wants to rock the boat when it's going so fast and doing so much money. So people tend to slow down, and this is again a controversial issue that sometimes business owners don't want to say don't get it, but they're too afraid to take the steps. Thank you, Hassan. So financial reporting like cash flow, P&L, balance sheet are very important part of the health check of any organization. However, on their own, they're not enough. It's like the general health check or blood work that the doctor gives you on your first visit. They are key to giving the doctor the indication on what needs more investigation, but they're not a solution on their own. They're not enough for the doctor to be able to do a diagnostic. And this is our starting point. When we start with any business, you need first to analyze your P&L, you need to analyze your cash flow, you need to analyze your income statement, all the financial reporting, but then you need to go deep down and try to see what are the issues that your business specifically is facing. Let's start with the the three elements that we talked about. Cost. I can tell you that I can fairly say I can decrease the cost of any company by at least 15-20%, at least 15-20%. In any company, anytime, in any place. I am yet to be able to see. I'm ready to commit and what do we say, bet on it. I have worked with so many companies whose owner or CEO used to think that they're running a very tight ship in terms of cost, who thought that they're managing cost really efficiently. And then when we go into the business, we start working with them, we give them more visibility without affecting the operation or the business of the operation. We have reduced the cost anything between 15 to 20% and even to 50%. I have seen in 3 months a 50% reduction in cost without changing productivity. I'm not claiming that we'll be able to reduce everyone's cost by 50%. That's not realistic. It's not going to be this way. But I'm telling you, I'm very confident that in any company I can reduce between 15 to 20% without affecting the business.
Ahmed made a comment. He said, is it by increasing productivity? Is that how you reduce increasing productivity? Is that how you reduce costs?
Of course, by increasing productivity, but by gaining the whole. It depends on every business, but it's not on an increased productivity. It's looking at the cost as it is, having an objective eye of why we're incurring that cost. It's sizing the business, sizing the resources of the business to the size of the business. And there are a lot of innovative way that you can find, and everything is done, of course, with the business owner. I mean, I won't go and do this alone. So I was telling you that we reduced, but thank you for the comment, that we reduced 15 to 20% and sometimes 50%. But this depended on the variation, all of it is not related to the size, to the company itself. It's related to the size of the company. The smaller the company is, the lesser the percentage of cost you can reduce. The bigger the company is, the more you can reduce. Big companies, of course, more than 20% very easily. You know, cost, I like to see it as fat. Whatever you do, even if you exercise, your body might get some fat. And when you're doing your business regularly, you start, the business will accumulate a little bit of fat. And sometimes the business owner himself can't see the fat because he's too much into the business. So you need an outside eye. So that's in terms of cost. In terms of cash flow, unless you're sitting on a big sum of money or a huge trust fund, cash flow presents a serious risk to many companies, to many organizations. And if not managed properly, and I mean properly in surgical precision, cash flow can and will cause death. Actually, many SMEs go bust just because of cash flow. A lot of companies, they know how to manage the science of cash flow. Okay, these are my payables, these are my receivables, so on and so forth. But most fail to manage the art of cash flow. Last year alone, and during COVID, when we launched the Restart program, we were able to improve the cash flow of our clients by a minimum of 20% to a solid 50%. This means that the company's lives were extended by a minimum of 3 months to more than 6 months. Just because we manage cash flow in a very precise and precise way. Any questions on the cash flow?
And the cost part too, on the
And the
first two parts.
Okay, so let's go to profitability. So unless you're a non-profit organization or an NGO, profitability is the one, if not the main reason that we all started our business, right? Profitability to me is simply, are you making the money you deserve? Are you making profits equal or larger than the collective efforts being put in the business? If you're making profits less than the collective efforts, to me, this is not a profitable business. This is a losing business. And you need to address the problem immediately. Sometimes you get the illusion of making money, when in reality, we're making peanuts, again, compared to the efforts that the collective efforts being put. And here, I'm not talking about the startups. That's very important. During the startup phase, all the efforts have to be put for the company to take off.
There's Bashara who commented. He asked if there's a time frame in which you can improve your costs. So we talked about decreasing costs at the beginning. So in order to decrease them, is there like a specific time frame to have in mind? So like in X months or in X amount of years, it's going to decrease, or?
Oh, wow, no, definitely it's not years. Usually we start seeing results on the second and third month. It depends on which areas we're decreasing cost, and depends on the contractual terms that you have. So let's say, for example, someone has a warehouse that has still 1 year to finish and they're not using it fully. We will see the reduction in like 3 or 4 months. But in some other areas, in the second month, I don't know if it was a record, but one of the companies, we have decreased cost by 50% in 3 months. Actually, it's a bit more than 50. It was like 54 or something.
That's a record.
Yeah, I think it's a record. But I think we need to really work around this and see we can use it for marketing material and yes, but it depends. But again, definitely in 2 or 3 months, you will see the difference.
Mohsen said about cash flow, that cash flow management sometimes leads to non-quality, no quality decisions that affect the day-to-day operations. Mohsen, if you can unmute yourself and elaborate more, that would be great.
Yeah, it's an important question.
Yeah.
Mohsen, if you can elaborate, I think you're getting somewhere, I'm not sure where.
If not, if you'd rather not, you can type in the rest in the comment section. But we would love to hear you elaborate more.
I think what Mohsen is trying to say is that sometimes, because of cash flow issues, we tend to take decisions that we're forced to because of the cash flow. If this is the case, yes. That's why it's important to manage the cash flow very seriously and with a really eagle eye, and knowing where it has to sit really well with the strategic direction of the company, where you want to take the company. Because as I said, cash flow could be a killer. A lot of companies were making a lot of money, profitability on paper, but they were dead because of cash flow. So again, going back to the profitability, I'm not talking about the companies that at startup phase. During startup, you have to put all the efforts, all the muscles, all the fuel that you have, all the bullets that you have for the business to take off. Here, so I'm talking about established businesses where the owner or CEO is feeling like running too fast just to move a few inches. You know, a CEO told me lately, if I can keep the company running, keep providing jobs for the team, while making a little bit of profit, I would come out as a winner. While I agree with this statement on a short run, I completely disagree on it as a strategy or a direction. This would have been correct in March when the lockdown was here. There was no one knew what to do. If you were able to really just pay your salaries and survive, that was a good condition. But again, this is a 2-month, 3-month thing, not now. Our direction as business owners is to aim high. The more we think, the better. The more we aim, the better. You know, they say aim for the stars, and if you miss, you'll reach the moon. Yeah, well, this is true. Aim for a high profitability. If you miss, you'll still have a good enough profitability. But if you aim only for just survival, you will barely survive.
Does
Look,
anyone
again,
have any questions so far about the 3 parts?
I have a question. I have a question, a remark.
yes,
Yes,
please go
Zuhair.
ahead.
Hi,
Hi,
sorry.
Zuhair.
Hi.
I'm on location. Hi, Saudi. Hi, Natalie. Hi, guys. Okay. اليوم it's so competitive out there. يعني نحن we're talented company, we have talented individuals, our work speaks for itself. بس كتير unfortunately الناس عم بيحرقوا الأسعار. And you go in and you submit your prices. And it's all led, it's supply demand, and the client has many choices, and people are willing to burn the price. That affects profitability. It affects cash flow. لأنه هلا you have to cover your overheads. Even as much as you drop down into your there's a limit to as a small company, and you said it right. There's a limit to how much you can drop down the operating expense. You start to touch into your resources. So it's becoming يعني بعدين خاصة اليوم بالماركت اللي نحن فيها, it's unpredictable when you're going to get your business. يعني بعلمك you're going to be getting a job, but then before you know it, it's been put on hold, or they أجلوها ل January's budget, so on and so forth. Before you know it, you've worked, you've expended resources, you've done work, then somebody swoops in on a silver platter and takes it because they have not invested in it as much as you have.
Yeah. Thank you, Zuhair, for your. I completely agree with you. You're 100% correct, and that's why it's very important now to size your business. It's now important to take the bold decisions that you need to really size the business. If you're feeling that you can't compete on the price, or your overheads are too big, the right time to reduce the size of the business was last month or 2 months ago. And the second best right time is now. I know it will need a bold decision. It will need some unpopular decisions that you take, or some decisions that you're not really comfortable. But it is the right time to step out of your comfort zone, of the comfort zone of the business, and do the right thing. It's the whole ship which is in jeopardy.
Yeah. هي مشكلتنا نحن انه ده يعني what are you going to work with? I mean, if you chop off your legs, how are you going to walk? But you need this capability to even نحن يعني look it's all of scale. يعني اليوم ركبنا علينا losses طويلة عريضة من خاصة كنا نحكي نحن آخر سنة الماضي business was low. نحن we spoke earlier.
Yeah.
نحن before يعني the last quarter of 2019 was not good for all the business, most businesses. And then carrying into 2020, we saw some movement, positive movement in December. November بلشت, December, January, February بعدين هبطنا. The losses we've accumulated are huge and a lot of them are in liability. So your revenue has to be a certain amount. And in order to do this, you can subcontract and do it like this and then piggyback off somebody else's overhead, which is a good idea. But generally to be competitive or profitable rather, you do this with your own resources as much as you can afford. A very good idea is if we can get investors and share the profit with them, and then have them put in the liquid, the cash for us to do our projects. We don't want all the pie. And معنا نحن, we will actually build back, close our liabilities لأنه علينا كتير liabilities we can't get out of. يعني أنا if I downsize هلا, I can't get out of certain things that I'm stuck in.
You will not. There are a lot of things that you're stuck with, and they're medium term or longer term, of course, and
yes,
you have to pay your liabilities. But again, if in December you took the action, your liabilities much lower.
100%. لو شفتها بديسمبر أنا without even COVID, كنت هلا I'm in a different place altogether.
Okay. So
course.
my question to you is this.
Yes.
Do you want to have the same discussion 6 months later?
No.
Saying, I wish I did this. It's the best time to take action on this was 3 months ago or 1 year ago.
Yes.
And the second best time is now.
No.
It needs a bold decision. أو قلبك.
You've muted yourself.
Sorry that I didn't have to. I lost complete audio معكم.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I lost complete audio. اجاني تليفون. تفضلوا please. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying the best time to do this was 1 year ago. And the second best time is now.
Now.
You need to decide. It's up to you, not to me.
Yeah.
Not to,
we're planning on this.
It's like jumping on a very cold pool.
Yeah, you have to.
You say, yes, I'm going to jump.
You have to.
Look, again, COVID, non-COVID, the whole thing. It is now the time to play full out. It is now where you will be able to resize the company and grow the business. It is time for you to let the leader in you take charge. And remember, this period of growth and opportunity is not going to come before another 8 or 10 years. It's not a period of survival. Once you take this position, once you put your mindset and your mindset into this position, you will not only grow your business, you will start seeing opportunities, you will start seeing solutions, you will enjoy the process, and you'll have fun. Believe me.
But that's the whole point,
Exactly.
كنت عم بعمل expression يعني هيك مثل عم بلعب بيت بيوت انه مش شكل عم running a business بالشكل يعني بس فنجان الشاي فاضي والصحن فاضي يعني just running the motions without really
Yeah, I agree.
Guys, I didn't want to miss this meeting. So I hope to really get a recording with it. I have to go into a meeting هلا.
No worries. Good luck. Thank you.
If you guys are still on, I'll come back on. Okay.
All right.
Allow me to thank you عن جد يعطيكم ألف عافية. amazing engagement. I really enjoy this. Allah Akbar, Allah will be working on a one-to-one
Inshallah.
basis. Come in.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good to see you again.
Good to
Have
see
a
you.
great
Salah.
meeting.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
So there's Mr. Hassan Karaki. He commented that in Lebanon, that since it's a special case, competition is more on the mode of payment and not just prices. And Mr. Saad, he asked you a question. He said that, do you think that decreasing
Saud.
cost, Saud, sorry. Mr. Saud asked that, do you think by decreasing cost, will that affect the company's growth, especially if it's a company that is growing on a fast pace?
Okay. Let me answer Hassan first, and then we'll answer Saud. Hassan, yeah, I know in Lebanon it's difficult and there are special ways. But again, when we say that decreasing cost is, sorry, your question was more about the prices, right?
Yeah, that the competition in Lebanon is more based on the mode of payment, method
exactly.
of payment, not just prices.
Yeah, so the competition now is
hi.
on.
Hi, Hassan.
Hi. Actually, just to explain my comment, it was just a comment on what Zuhair was trying to say, because right now people are working below cost sometimes, and the other problem we have is that other competitors, for example, you know that we have suddenly become a cash-based economy, so the whole market switched into a cash-based economy. So thanks to our politicians, we went back like 20, 30 years. So the whole everything we have done has all changed in the way we do business. So the competition has become is how do you get paid? If you accept checks, or do you really need cash, or do you take dollar cash, or do you take the local currency, or all of these? So we have. I'm totally with you. I'm definitely with cutting costs. I'm definitely positive for this phase. You know me. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to point out so many issues that we have that will not be solved by just decreasing costs. So you might be surprised that someone else took the job for you from you, and your offer was $1,000 while he took it for 2,500, but he accepted to take a check while you're asking to take cash. So this is our dilemma now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hassan.
Yeah.
Just to answer Saud, of course, decreasing cost will affect the company's growth, especially if it's fast-growing companies, but even if in any companies, because there is a tendency, a lot of people make the mistake, is by decreasing the cost of necessary resources. What I always say is that though we're putting it as decreasing cost, but it's basically sizing the business properly, removing the fat that is in the business. Businesses, as they go, they accumulate fat. It's very natural. It's especially in their growth phase. So trying to look this fat in the eye and taking the bold decision that this needs to go, or this needs to be reduced, or this needs to be renegotiated. This is where I say decrease cost. I'm not talking decreasing training, cutting the salaries of salespeople. I'm not thinking sending people at home. I'm very straightforward about the fact. We tend as business owners to keep a lot of things that are nice to have. I'm answering your next question.
Yeah, he said that. Can you give an accurate example of the fat?
Yeah, it's the things that are in the business that are nice to have, or the things that are in the business that I will use one day next year. Yeah, fat is good, of course.
Depends what type of fat we're talking about.
uh, but if the business is growing and if the company is making a profit, so it doesn't have a cost issue or it doesn't have a profitability issue, and still it's in growing phase, it's okay to keep a little bit of fat that you will use during the growth. That's why I insist on depending on the company phase. I wish there was a right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. It depends on the time, the company, and the circumstances of each company. Thank you. Good discussion. I like it. That's exactly what. Thank you for making me realize that I didn't make cost cutting means like chopping off everyone.
Thank you, Hassan. It was so good to have you. And don't worry, a recording is going to be available on YouTube, so you can watch the discussion fully.
Thank you, Hassan. Good to see you again. So now you remember I said at the beginning, I mentioned earlier in the session that I would be offering an opportunity that you don't want to miss for everyone who's still with me. And this is exactly what we will do now. So for those who want to understand exactly how this framework works, how it can help their own business, we're offering a free business breakthrough call, which is worth $1,200. Okay. Actually, it's worth much more. The value that you will get is much more than that. But if we're going to charge, it will be $1,200.
Yes.
During this call, I will walk you through all what we've taught, specifically to your business. And you will get all the learning and experience that I have had that I've put into this framework. I will show you exactly how to implement this framework in your business. I truly believe that every company at any stage can decrease its cost, can improve its cash flow, and can gain profitability anytime. So I advise you to grab this opportunity. We have 10 slots available for the coming week, and my team will share the link. We don't, Natalie, can you share the link? Or
Yes, I'm going to send it on the chat. So it's the link that is written on the PowerPoint here, but I'm going to share it as well on the chat. I'm going to stop sharing so I can share it. So it's very direct. When you click on the link, you're gonna get several slots available from starting tomorrow till next Monday. So you choose the day that best fits you with the timing. We have two time frames, one from 3 to 4, another from 4 to 5. It's Dubai time, but it's going to change according to your location and time frame. So basically you click on it, it's going to be reserved, the slot is going to be reserved for you, and then you're going to be sent a link, a Zoom call link for the call with Mr. Sadiq.
Perfect. Thank you. I know that some of you might be thinking, yeah, I know that decrease cost, increase, manage cash flow, and work on the profitability, but I'm still having problems. Well, I don't know if you know, if any of you know my favorite quote. My favorite quote that I live by all my life is from Einstein. I'm not the electrical guy, but Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're doing whatever you've been doing, if you keep on doing today whatever you've been doing yesterday, you're gonna reach the destination that you reached today. I hope it makes sense. To me, this makes a lot of sense.
Exactly, yeah, it does.
So now it's time for our Q&A.
So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or you can unmute yourself and speak freely.
Yeah, I think that I would like the other one better. It
Yes,
looks too
that'd be.
complicated, you know,
Yeah.
typing and
So for those of you who'd rather not really speak, you can comment. If you do,
yeah.
we would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, or we can go through if you have any questions to explain more.
Okay.
So far, no
Question.
questions.
Hi.
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 I just have a question. I'm still in the kickoff phase. I didn't start having any profitability or anything yet. So would this call benefit me in terms of how to work things out later on? I mean, I don't have a background yet.
So you're a new business
I'm
owner.
a new
You want to
startup.
become
Yes.
okay. You have any corporate experience before?
Yes.
Okay, that's a killer. Sorry for I'm not
I
making
know.
you afraid. I
I
had
know.
the
I know. I'm
when
living
I
it.
moved from corporate, I started the first business. I've done mistakes probably worth a couple of years.
Yeah.
If
I
someone
know
had
them.
told me what doesn't work here, shouldn't work here, should work, doesn't work here, works there, I would have gained a good 2 years in my business life and business growth. So yes, of course, you will gain. We'll be
Okay.
able
Perfect.
with pleasure.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions about the framework, about the details of the framework, about the call with Mr. Sadiq, to have more clarifications?
Oh, okay. So I think you made it. We made it in 1 hour. So Natalie, you're
Yeah,
very
punctual.
exactly.
So no comments or questions? I
All right, no
assume
comments.
everything's
I mean,
clear.
you have our emails ID with pleasure in case something comes up a little bit in the
Yes,
future. You'd like to comment, book
the
the
call.
session, the call.
It will truly benefit you, and it's gonna be adapted to your business. So you're going to gain a lot of insights according to your business, the situation it's in, whether it's just starting, whether it has started for a few years. So you can only benefit from this call, really. And if you didn't know yet, we're present on all social media accounts. So if you want to know more about us, what we do, what we're planning to do, the future discussions we're planning to have, please follow us on our social media accounts on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Because actually, the recording of this discussion and our previous discussions we always post them on YouTube. So please feel free to follow us to have the latest news. And thank you all for joining today. It was a pleasure seeing familiar faces and meeting new faces as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you in our next discussions.